Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Gosh, we love Golgari in today's game, with Charles winning the die roll and starting us off. He draws and plays a tapped Hissing Quagmire. I display an Underground Mortuary, which comes in tapped, and I surveil one. Ben's land for turn is a Path of Ancestry, which comes in tapped as well. Corwin also wants to play a tapped land, and doesn't take 2 from his Overgrown Tomb as it comes in tapped as well. Charles plays a forest, and then pays 2 for Dread Whispers. I've got a forest return and cast Nature's Lore, going to find a land. Ben draws, plays a forest, and casts Lotus Cobra. Corwin plays a forest return, and then casts a Collector Oof. He ships it after that. Charles draws, plays a swamp, and then pays 3 for Nissa's Pilgrimage. He goes to find a forest for his hand and a forest for the field. My turn has me playing a Wooded Foothills, and then paying 3 for Ophiomancer and pass. On Ben's upkeep, I get a Snake token, and Ben then draws and plays a Sap Seep Forest, making a mana from his Lotus Cobra. He then uses that mana to help cast Scoot Swarm and ships the turn. Corwin draws, plays a forest, and then pays 2 for Lignify on the Scoot Swarm. It becomes a 0/4, and he ships the turn after that. Charles draws, plays a forest, and casts his commander with Umori. As it comes in, he names Sorcery, reducing the cost by 1. I start my turn off by drawing, and then casting Enduring Tenacity. I then swing my Snake token at Corwin, who takes the hit for 1, and I just pass after that. Ben draws and casts Blech. He then plays a Riveteer's Outlook. It sacrifices itself as it comes in, gaining him 1 life, and he goes to find a land. With him gaining some life, this triggers Blech, and he gets to put a +1/+1 counter onto his team. He then gets a swamp with the Outlook, and gets a mana from Lotus Cobra, plus a mana from the Outlook as well. Ben uses the 2 for Lightning Greaves, but it's a big oof because he can't equip it because of the Collector Oof, and after that, passes. Corwin draws, and then plays a City of Brass. He then taps enough for his commander, Carth. As Carth comes in, he looks at his top 7, and reveals Karuk, Cursed Huntsman off the trigger, putting it to hand, and passing. Charles draws for turn and pays only 3 for Harmonize, drawing some cards. He follows that up by paying only 1 green to cast Summer Bloom. This allows him to play 3 forests from his hand and a Barren Moor as his land for turn. He then casts Mosswood Dreadknight from exile, and he ships it after that. I draw and cast a Flare of Cultivation in my main phase, getting a land to the field, and 1 to my hand. I then play a Swamp for turn, and moving to combat, swing my Snake token at Corwin. He takes the hit for 1, and I pass turn after that. Ben draws, plays a Swamp, and gets to make a mana off the Lotus Cobra. He uses that mana to help cast Cauldron of Essence. Ben then follows up with a Mortal Bargain, sacrificing his Scoot Swarm to destroy the Oof, and the Cauldron drains everyone for 1. Because he gains life, Blech triggers, and he gets to put a counter onto each of his creatures, and then moves to equip the Lightning Greaves onto Blech. Going to combat, Blech goes at Corwin. Corwin takes the hit for 5, and Ben passes. Corwin's turn has him drawing, and casting Vraska Swarm's Eminence in his main phase. Once the walker's out, he downticks her and gets an Assassin token and passes. Charles draws and starts his turn by casting a culling ritual. He destroys everything that costs 2 or less, making 5 mana off of it, and Ben drains each of us for 1. Charles then casts Dread Whispers off the Mosswood Dread Knight, and then plays Emergent Zone as his land for turn. He continues by casting an Entwined Promise of Power, drawing 5 and losing 5, and then makes a 9/9 demon token. He continues his turn with a Thought Vessel, and then gets some more lands with a Migration Path, and passes. I just draw and cast Dina and pass. Ben's land for turn is a Nesting Grounds, and he then casts Pest Mascot. He activates his Sapseep Forest to gain a life, and Blech pumps his team. He keeps them back though, and just passes turn. Corwin draws, and casts a Nightshade Dryad in his main phase. He then downticks Vraska again to make an Assassin token, and passes. Charles draws and plays a Forest for turn, and then swings the 9/9 demon at Ben. Ben takes the hit in the air, and Charles then casts Seasons Past in his second main phase. This has him returning his graveyard to his hand, and he then recasts the Promise of Power Entwined again, losing 5 and drawing 5 cards, and this time makes a 14/14 demon. He then casts a Rampant Growth to go and find a basic, and passes turn. I draw and play a Verdant Catacombs, and follow up with Deadly Brew. Everyone sacrifices a creature, and I sacrifice my Snake token, drawing a card from Dina, which allows me to return Wooded Foothills to my hand, thanks to the Brew. I then cast a White of the Reliquary. Once that's out, I cast Insidious Roots. I then finish my turn up by cracking the Verdant Catacombs, losing 1 to go and find a land. Ben's turn has him drawing and casting a Meltstrider Eulogist. Once it's on the field, he sacrifices it to return Scoot Swarm to the battlefield. This has Ben gaining 1 from the Cauldron, which in turn triggers Blech to pump his board, which at this point is really just Blech. Ben then plays a land for turn, and gets to make a Scoot Swarm copy because he has so many lands, passing after that. Corwin draws, and he casts Damnation. I get to make a plant token off the Enduring Tenacity, hitting my graveyard but then returning, and the board is then fully wiped. Ben also gets to drain the table a bit from the Cauldron, and once the wipe is done, Corwin then downticks Vraska to make an Assassin token, and passes. Charles draws, plays a Swamp, and then casts Erebos. With life gain off the table, Black isn't looking so hot, and Charles then follows up with an Awaken the Woods, putting 10 into the X, and gets to make 10 Dryad Forest tokens. He passes once the spell resolves. I draw, play a Swamp, and then cast Belladroth Witherbloom. I ship it after that. Ben's turn has him just playing a Swamp, and recasting Blech. Corwin draws for turn, and he casts Elvish Harbinger. And he goes to find a Finhorn Elves, putting them on top. He then sends the Assassin token at Ben, who takes the hit for 1, and Corwin passes. Charles plays a Swamp for turn, and then casts Preposterous Proportions. His board is pumped by +10/+10, and Charles then swings 2 at Corwin, 2 at Ben, and 6 at me. Corwin and Ben just take the hit, while I chump with everything that I can. Charles then moves to his second main phase, and he taps his Dryads for mana, and casts a Culling Ritual. This blows up the board, and Charles gains a ton of mana, and he uses the rest of his mana for a massive Exsanguinate, closing out the game by draining his opponents. Game review time. So today's theme decks were all kind of unplanned. It just so happened that we all had a Golgari deck at the time. And it's a nice mix of old and new. We've got 2 commanders from Secrets of Strixhaven, which is one of the newer sets, and it features only in-universe commanders. And it's also showcasing a lot of old school cards being very powerful still and relevant. Seasons Past returning Charles's whole graveyard to his hand was basically what allowed him to win. Plus that Culling Ritual, considering he wiped his own tokens away, was very powerful. And it was just great to see that Charles's Umori deck, which he's played a couple times on the channel, was finally able to close one. It's sorcery only, so he plays it with a lot of restrictions, and it's great to see how he works around it. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.